everybody. Welcome back to the Wisconsin Basketball League update. I'm officially back with Lisa. How was your vacation?
Oh, it was so good. It was so relaxing, but I missed you. I feel like I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. Tommy was a solid fill, but we got the original crew back.
Yes.
And we're ready to break down.
Be back.
Yeah, we're ready to break down these past few games this past weekend on Friday, April 9th. Now, this was an exciting round of games. Every game played, all three games were within 5 points of each other. So it was tough. So Kings, Fury, and Ignite all played. No Madison teams on this weekend, but they'll be back for the next one. But they had just a phenomenal show. I mean, every game was just like coming down to the last second shot, it felt like. So, breaking it down where they were at, the first game we had Kings versus Fury, and Kings end up winning 92-88. And I know last time these guys played each other wasn't as close of a matchup.
No, not at all. No, Kings and Fury is a great game, great combination of teams and the athletes that are competing against each other in those different positions. I actually, in honor of all the athletes and the games this past weekend, I wore my camo pants, just if you can see here, my camo pants, because they all really come to battle every single week. Yeah. They battle every single week, and there's a lot of turning points in each game. And I feel like every game, there's a different turning point and a different reason why, one team may have lost before, but this time they made a difference. Yeah.
And this is one of those back and forth, which is exciting, and having the following games kind of play out differently as well. What the next game was Ignite versus Kings. Kings end up winning 89-86, and this came down to a last second shot out on the floor. It was just a tooth and nail because Kings now played back-to-back games that day, so they're running on E. Going into this last. I know that one of their best players, Adam Fravert, was on the sideline, just kind of aching a little bit on his legs, and they're cramping up, and it's like it's a lot for these guys to do. It doesn't matter their age. It doesn't matter if they're one of those guys straight out of high school, or if they're pushing their mid-30s. Like they're grinding. So for them to play back-to-back and to be a close game but come out on top, that moved them officially to the top spot in the WBL.
Happened? What happened? How did they get up there?
They were so quickly put together. I mean, they just last second, we're going to, fill this spot in the league. We need this team. And, the whole, especially with Kings and Movement, both came on.
I was going to say they came on late. Yeah. So we weren't sure about where Kings would fall.
Yeah. And so Movement, same thing. Yeah. And it's played out great for both squads. So super happy to have it played out the way it is. But Kings sneaking up on everybody with 8-2 at the top of the league, which is awesome. And then for the final game of that night, it was Fury versus Ignite, the coveted rivalry within the league. Two Appleton teams going back to back with each other, and
it wasn't too long ago that Fury really got outplayed.
49-point loss is what last time they faced each other. It was a 49-point loss. This time Fury wins 118-113 in a 5-point win. They had 6 people in double digits, and LaShawn Lee came out of absolutely nowhere and scored 26 points. I think he had, a career high, season high of 26 points. I think he was previously averaging below 10 points per game to that. So
he came into his element. That's great.
Yeah, he was he even got up with it. I know he's got to be respectfully 5'11", 6 foot. He got up and dunked in the game.
We're gonna have to test that vertical in our gym.
No,
we got some tools. We need to see how high he can jump.
He can get up. So it was exciting to see that matchup. Cole Ellisted led the Ignite with 24 points that game, but it just wasn't enough. Like I said, we've said before, you need to have multiple scorers on that team. Yeah. But they did. That's the thing is, so all teams hitting them. All had
you get over 100 points. Wow.
Yeah. Well, all teams have 4 to 5 people in double digits, but it's just a matter of Fury that game had 3 guys, I think, in 20 plus points, and that's insane. So. Really big congrats for Fury. They moved above Movement. Now they're at 3-7. and they moved to the 4th spot in the league. So where the standings are currently at, we have Ignite at the top of the league. I'm sorry, Kings at the top of the league. The newly crowned top of the league champs. We got 8-2 for them. Then Ignite 6-4. They're on I think a 3-game losing streak. They were without head coach Phil Cartwright this weekend, and it showed a little bit.
Yes, and that's, we should pause on that a little bit and talk, because, in some of these semi-pro teams or leagues, as people get started, they sometimes they feel like they can do it without a coach.
Yep. Yeah.
And having a coach, having a player coach is really tough, tough. No matter how great the players are, you just need that different element. You need somebody who's just a little bit separate from the team to step in and be that leader and really direct as the game flows, to make the calls. Because when you're tired and you're down and out, you just can't do that as a player.
It's not as
times.
clear-headed, and that's the thing I think from what we've seen from Ignite previously. Yeah. And, it's not saying also the coach is the be-all, end-all. Like, the Ignite fell apart in different ways that weekend. But truthfully,
they're a key element.
That was a big thing when it came down to what everyone saw. I know we were talking, it was just like lack of composure, lack of control, pace of the game. Like, there just was different things that they weren't able to control that they normally are, normally are kind of known for, that consistency. And it just was like, they went 0-2, and I think that now puts them on a 3-game losing streak after losing their previous game to April 9th to the Movement. They were taken down by
that was
Movement.
tough. Yeah.
So I think they're on that 3-game losing streak. So 3 of their
have
last.
to figure it out coming back.
I think they're going to be upset enough. I
think so too.
Taking a 3-game losing streak, and then now
nobody
they
likes
lost
to
twice,
lose.
I think that's going to do it for them. Just knowing those guys. So I think
they're competitive. Yeah, they'll find a way to come back.
Exactly.
Put some W's on the board, that's for sure.
Exactly. So we still got Dynasty at 3rd in the league with 4-5. Fury now at 4th with 3-7, and Movement at the bottom with 2-5. But I expect that to change. Those last 2 games that Movement had a little while ago now, it's March 21st.
They came that last weekend because I was gone, so I wasn't there live to watch them. So if you do miss games, we've got those available for you to watch.
Yes.
You want to say anything about that?
WISBL.com/live.
Yeah. So if you're not there live, you actually can go back and watch the games. So I missed it live, but the previous time they played, that was an interesting matchup. So tell us a little bit more about what that looked like this time around.
Well, Movement obviously didn't play on Friday, April 9th, but the last time they played was March 21st, I believe, and they took down Kings Ignite, which are still the top 2 teams in the league.
Yep.
And that was just crazy because I think they were 0-5. Right. And then they jumped to defeating like a clear-handed, like it was pretty much Movement game, the whole game, and they end up beating those top 2 teams. So what I mean by, I think, Movement changing from the 5th to, creeping up there a little bit is even though you see the 5th seed, you see the bottom team, it's like 2-5, their 2 wins are against the 2 best teams in the league, and that was just recently. So, and they're like, they're shorthanded in the sense of practice times, and they came on late, so
doesn't matter where you are in the standings. It doesn't matter where you are in the standings because every single one of these teams can win, can beat another team on any given night.
Exactly. And that's why I'm excited for when playoffs come around, that May 21st and June 11th. So,
and that's at just the game again?
That is at JAG, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you can view our schedule at wisbl.com/schedule. But everything's detailed out in there, and it's going to be interesting because basically you got the bottom 2 seeds playing to get in, essentially, and then the June 11th.
Talk a little bit about how playoffs are structured.
Yeah, so we have May 21st, June 11th, May 21st, we'll have the last regular season game of the day. That'll start the day off. And then the second game of the night will be the 4th versus 5th seed to be able to jump to that June 11th date and play whoever wins the 2 seed versus the 3 seed in that day, and then they play the 1 seed. So essentially, right, they go through this kind of single elimination process, and between each games we have our lovely contest, which we talked about with Tommy last time on the podcast. And if you want to learn more about those, again, you can go to wisbl.com/schedule. We got the 3-point contest, combos contest, levels contest, dunk contest, all packed into a very fun day.
Oh, that sounds so exciting. I can't wait.
So it'll be good to have those games. But as for our next games coming up, after this past weekend, I'm excited. I know Dynasty and Movement are itching to get back in there. So it'll be excited to see them back in action on April 30th at Just a Game Fieldhouse.
Yeah, and I wonder what it'll look like, because those guys will have more practice under them, but then some break. Some break, just to make sure that their bodies rest up and heal and ready for the next battle. Camo. Bring your camo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when we were talking when we had our first player interview with Tien and Shen of Dynasty, he was talking, he's sore, a little aching, he tore his shoulder, and
did we get that masseuse?
Nah, we didn't get the masseuse for him, but we apologize again, Tien, and it's on us. We'll make up for it. But he was talking. He's like, I'm aching a little bit. I'm like, I'm
been like an old man at 25?
Yeah, it's tough leading the league and everything he's doing. So it's nonetheless, right. He's gonna come back around, and he'll be set for April 30th with Dynasty. Our games for that night look like Movement versus Fury game 1, Dynasty versus Ignite game 2, and Kings versus Movement in the final game of the night. Again, that is all on Friday, April 30th. So I'm looking forward to those games.
I can't wait. And every game has got, like I said before, there's a turning point in every game. There's a key player, a key moment. So we look for those. Those are really exciting, and we like to highlight those and here. And if you want to be a sponsor to keep this this amazing podcast with these pretty brilliant women going, you can get your name on spotlighted during our show, and just like on our mug here. See?
Yeah,
you can have something as brilliant as this, your name in silver and white, or silver and red.
Nice and clean, never wearing
nice
off.
and clean. Yeah, we want to partner with you. So make sure you reach out to Allie, reach out to WBL.com, and connect with us so we can promote you, so we can continue to support these teams, these organizations, and these tremendous athletes.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to our already current sponsors and partners. It has been phenomenal so far this season to be able to get underway. Just having this podcast here with Big Bark Media is huge. But other things along the way, Ascension,
like
OSMS,
Athletic Trainers, OSMS,
everything that we've provided, everything that's been provided for us at the Menominee Nation Arena, Just a Game Fieldhouse. We have a newly partnership with Kings Customs, which is
those sweet shoes.
Yep, custom kicks. So huge shout out to Kings Customs. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Reach out to them if you want any of your kicks designed, hand painted. They look beautiful. We will be getting a pair designed for our league MVP come around that time. So
I don't think anybody else does that. Come on now.
I know. And that's
special.
Thanks to Kings Custom and the partnership with the WBL. So again, if you want to partner with the WBL, please reach out to the WISBL.com website, and we will be in touch with you and love to grow with you.
Yeah.
But now I think it's time for what everyone's
Now is a special highlight.
For.
Yes, we love this piece. We love this time.
Yes, we got a player interview coming up with Ben Meinholz of the Milwaukee Kings. Yes, that is the newly crowned top of the league Milwaukee Kings, 8-2. Ben is currently scoring 18.3 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 1.6 blocks per game, and shooting 43.3% from the field.
43. Yeah, he's great. He's versatile. Yeah, I can't wait to hear a little bit more about his story and what's got him to this point.
Well, welcome, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you two doing?
Great. We're happy that you're here now. Excited.
Yes, I'm excited to be on.
Good. Well, we have you averaging 18.3 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 1.6 blocks per game, and 43.3 field goal percentage.
I love how you said that. We have you. We have
Yeah.
you doing that.
Yeah.
It's all us making it happen.
It's not,
now.
yeah, we brought you on. It's our credit. You're just a robot out there. Yeah.
Success is from you guys.
Yeah, of course. No, not at all. I mean, we truly appreciate the work you've been putting out there. So tell us a little bit about the whole journey to get to kind of where you're at now. I mean, I kind of know a little bit about your WEAC background, but what about before that? Where are you from? I think Oconomowoc, my rival hometown.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's lots of rivalries all over the place.
But give us the background.
Yeah, who's
So I grew up in Oconomowoc, and like as a kid, I was always just the whatever season it is, that's what sport I'm gonna play. So whether it was basketball, football, or baseball, or anything. And I also swam. That was probably the other thing that I was maybe going that direction of. But the time high school came around, I went to Marquette University High School in Milwaukee. I was like gonna try out for the football team, but normally our like freshman year tryouts are always so wild, and there's like a bunch of kids who try out. So I was just nervous for that. I didn't really know anyone going into high school. So I just kind of wanted to make sure that no matter what, that I made the team. And I ended up fracturing a bone in my left hand. Like,
jeez.
Would you get in a fight?
No. Probably like 3 months before our freshman year tryout, and I got that taken off way too early. And then after that, that's pretty much all that I stuck to in high school was basketball.
Okay.
Kind of a wild journey. Like my freshman year, I didn't really play at all. My sophomore year, I was on JV, played a lot. Junior year, different coach, ran into a lot of troubles. Him and I didn't really see eye to eye. And then my senior year, my JV coach was our new head coach. So ended things on a decent note. We were like 2 minutes away from making it to state my senior year, but it's a whole other story that brings back pain every time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went to lacrosse, and that I felt like was the best decision for me. I had some family that went there, and everyone said they loved it. And I knew that I was going to be able to play basketball right away, and that was kind of my goal. And then for the most part, I had a rather successful career. I was able to play all 4 years. The one thing that I still struggle with to this day is not having like a player of the year in my accolades there, but
Hey, but you were a heck of a player at lacrosse. Like I covered at UWO some like storylines and stuff like that. It was always anytime Titans played you guys, like you always had that first name out there. So player of the year, at least I remember you.
Yeah,
so
I appreciate that, and it's even funny.
You have an opportunity through the league too.
Yeah,
for what you're bringing to the court. I mean, we're gonna have that. That's gonna be something that our athletes and whatever team you are can.
Yeah, if we didn't get it to you, then maybe the WBL will.
Yeah. You still got opportunity.
It's even funnier kind of being coached by Brett right now and playing with Adam.
Yeah, I bet. Because those are your rivals.
Yeah, rivals.
Right, exactly. Like if there's one school that I like really disliked the most, like rival wise, it was definitely Oshkosh. Just because I felt like with them, like we always needed to play our best game, and we could never like constantly get over that hump. So they were always standing in our way.
So Ben, did you actually play against Brett?
Oh yeah, him and I were the same class, so we played against each other for all 4 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
And then Adam Fravert, who's on the Kings as well, and he played against us. So
He's a year younger, right?
yes, yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So I was played against him for 3 years too. So
Interesting. So that's pretty interesting.
makes the dynamic on our team between coaches and players a little easier.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's cool. What is it like having? This is probably the youngest coach you've had in a while, I'm guessing, right? With Brett. So, like, what is it like to have that dynamic of the same age? Like, how is it?
Well, like one thing that I know he does without even like telling me, and like one thing that I take pride in is like obviously you can have all like the physical tools to play the game, but like the higher level you get to, the more it's just like mental and it's IQ stuff. And I think the conference that we both played in, the coaches that we had, and then Brett being able to play overseas, learned a lot of stuff. And by no means am I the smartest guy out there. But when it comes to basketball, I definitely like to ask questions and challenge and try and run some things. So, and he's been great. We've been able to like bounce a lot of ideas off each other and just kind of figure out what's best for our team. But he, like, the one thing I love that no matter what it is you do, whether if it's a coach, basketball, anything, like, you got to have passion. And he has that.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, even pulling in guys that he doesn't even really know that much, like, he knows what this league is about. He knows what he's trying to do. He's trying to get us to win games and play really good basketball together. And I think, obviously, based on our record, you've seen that he's been able to do that. So it's almost easier learning from a guy who's your age. You guys kind of have the same like vocabulary and kind of think the same way. So it's been really good. It's been smooth sailing for him and I, for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this game, and it just really reflects on life, because you don't have to stop at a certain point, even after high school or college. You can continue playing. You can continue developing your game and your understanding of the game, and your passion can grow. And there's just new worlds open up when you talk about different actions, different flows, and you're like, wow, I never saw angles like that before, or just movements. And it just keeps you just loving the game and wanting more and more every single day. Yeah.
So do you have aspirations of going overseas, or you want to stay competitive here, or whatever comes your way? Where are you at with that?
I mean, I would absolutely love to play overseas. That is definitely my goal right now.
Okay.
Like, I tried to do it last summer, but obviously everything was just like not typical last summer. But like, the thing that I'm kind of hoping for this summer is that, you know, a lot of college seniors are going to get their year of eligibility back. So I'm thinking that a lot of those seniors are going to go back, which is going to leave the amount of people who would like to play overseas to a smaller number. And then hopefully that is where I can kind of creep in there and hopefully find somewhere to go play. I'm not like super picky about where I want to play or anything. Like, I just want to be able to travel a little bit, say I got paid to play basketball, and do what I do.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this league too, is that it gives you guys an opportunity to continue to grow, to continue to get that film you need, and we want to set this up so that we're making the right connections overseas, continue to grow those, so that way we can give you those opportunities. It doesn't matter what team you are, what organization you're with, but to have those opportunities, those key moments that we can just capture those when the time is right. And so we want to support you and our other athletes and the other organizations for that, because you can only be, how old are you? Can we ask how old are you?
24.
24. You're not married with kids yet, right? You don't have
No.
7 kids running around? All right. Yeah. So this is the time of your life where, if you're going to do it, do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Yeah. Then we hope you come back. And it's okay, you can
sure.
come back, married
For
with
sure.
7 kids, we'll still take you. You can board it then like you do.
And that's been the great thing about this league, is that like there's some guys whose like names I've known, but I haven't really known them on like a personal level. And just being able to talk back and forth throughout and after the games, and just kind of see like where other guys are at, like where their mentality's at, what's going to be next, like after this league, and just kind of getting a good sense for, what kind of talent is over there, what's the next step, like what's something that I need to be more aware of, and things like that. So, I mean, we pull a bunch of different talent, a bunch of guys who've played everywhere. So it's nice to be able to communicate with everyone else.
You guys have such an interesting dynamic on that team. With a lot of teams, this is kind of how the dynamic is, though. It's that, you have guys like Davon, who've come straight out of high school.
Are playing with some big dogs that have played overseas or have played in one of the most competitive D3 conferences in the nation, right? And there's just, so talk a little bit about like the chemistry on the Kings. Like how do you guys build those bridges? Because this is something that you've probably never been experienced to before. It's like, if you're in college playing college basketball, these are college youths your age, same vision, came at the same time. or high school, same thing, same
Similar
age.
experiences.
But what is it? Yeah, what is it like? You know, even though you're 24 versus 19, that's a world of difference. People don't see it as much, but it is.
So the one thing that I would say is that there's no one on our team that really lacks like confidence in themselves. Like even though Davon might be younger and like just hasn't seen as much basketball, hasn't played as high level basketball, and like the IQ might not be as high as like everyone else's. He's not like, he knows what his game is and he's not wavering away from that. He's not trying to do too much. Like he knows what he does and he does that well.
Yeah.
So the thing is like no one is like out for themselves or it's like one man or any of this stuff. We get together very well. Like our practices are competitive. They're super fun, but everyone is like chirping each other nonstop.
Yeah.
But like for a position that I'm in, for someone who gets to play a lot and stats look good or whatever, like I also want to win. So like I can't just rely on myself to be good. Or I can't just make it between Adam and I. Like if we're gonna continue to win and continue to progress as a team and a player, like I'm gonna need all 12 guys, like all 11 guys to kind of back me up and be on my side and stuff. So I all about just kind of like building relationships and trusting your teammates and those kind of things. And I would say that trust is probably the biggest one. You know, I was injured to start the season. And I was like, well, now I'm going to have to come back and earn my minutes and earn my time and stuff like that. And I must have been doing it through like a rather professional way because now everyone is on my side and lives with the decisions that I make on the court. So it's been good though. It's honestly been an easier transition than I thought it was going to be. And especially someone like Brett, who's a young coach too, who hardly knows half of these guys, and these guys are older than him and some have kids and stuff like that. Like that you're talking to other grown men. Like it's kind of an interesting dynamic, but you know, he's always been about the team first. So it's been good. It's been really fun.
That's great. That's great to hear about that chemistry and that relationships that you guys have built. It makes all the difference when you play team basketball.
And that's what people want to see. You know, that's what people want to see. Like to know that, like when I watched this past game where Trevor alley-ooped to Adam twice, like to know that connection was already built, and that was Trevor's first WBL game. Like I knew they have never played together, like, you know, collegiately or, you know, in high school. So it was like they just like that read and react. It comes from just positive like vibes, and it's very easy to go like south. Like I've seen it before in the sense of like some guys want to get theirs and go overseas, like you talked about. Like you're averaging, and not to, you know, boost you up here, but like, you know, you could just easily sit here and average 18.3 points per game and not back it up with 10 rebounds per game. You know, so there's a clear stat line difference, and then also just a clear something that you can't even create in stats, just like a clear vibe on the team that you guys just jive, you know, and it's a positive environment. And even the guys that don't get the minutes, like they're still coming all that way to JAG. You know, I know you got two guys coming from Chicago that come or Chicago area that come all the way up to participate in these practices in Wisconsin.
That's 3 hours.
It's crazy.
For a practice. Yeah. That's commitment. But that means that you guys have established something really special. And that's probably why you're at the top of the league right now. It's just, you see it through and through. And that word that you use, trust, is huge because, you know, throughout the game, throughout a practice, you know, when you don't see each other, there might be some things that happen that you're like, well, what did they mean, or what did they say? Sometimes you just got to let those things go in order to put the team above self. And that has clearly, you guys have shown that as a team, and that's beautiful.
Well, like for this weekend, for example, like we had 2 weeks off before that. I think we had one practice in like the Tuesday leading up to the Friday. I mean, that's the first time that we've seen each other in 2 weeks, and then we practiced for 2 hours and then showed up and played good basketball. Like if we were to do that in the first week or first 2 weeks, I don't think that happens with us. But yeah, everyone like you said, even the guys towards the bottom of the roster are coming in, great attitude. They might get 5 minutes, but when they do, they're gonna bust their butt once they're in there. And it's just great. It like makes me want to play that much harder.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me want to be around it. And like you said, guys are driving from Chicago. They probably wouldn't be doing that if it like wasn't worth it. If we were slacking and we weren't playing
Right.
and stuff like that. So
They want to be a part of that championship vibe, that championship mentality. So
And that's why I wore my camo pants today, just to honor you guys, because you do. It's not just a battle on the court. When you see you're battling for each other, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So congratulations on that.
So let's dive
That's
into
awesome.
a little bit of the last portion of this. Like, talk about, all right, so the WBL dynamic, right? We talked a little bit about your teams, or your team, but talk a little bit about playing the other teams. Who are the teams you look forward to playing? Who are the teams that you played maybe one too many times now and you're like, or what are the player rivalries? You got any for us? You got any juice?
so like once the league started, because I missed the like preseason tournament in the Dells or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So once it started, I think our first games were against Ignite and Fury. And I think we ended up beating Fury. And like a couple guys on our team had good games. And then we played Ignite. And the first time that we played them, I think they were like full strength roster. And we've played with each other for like maybe 3 days. And like, I know a lot of guys on that team. So I'm like, okay, these guys have definitely been playing with each other like consistently. Actually just blew us out of the water the first game. It was bad. And I'm like, okay, well, that's like, I don't want that to happen again.
I don't like the way that.
And then like with the addition of movement, they're always a team. I mean, they struggled to start, but like I feel like everyone kind of did, just because same type of dynamic. They haven't really practiced with each other and stuff, but they got hoopers. Right now they might not be the greatest team collectively, but they got some guys that can fill up the stat sheets anywhere. So like that is a team that, even though their record might not show it, that's a team that is dangerous for sure.
Everyone's
you gotta
looking
watch.
at them.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. They're at 5th in the league, right? Bottom of the league. But I'm like, I'm not seeing them like staying there, right?
No,
like, cause they.
No. You got to watch out for them, because at any moment they'll figure out what they need to figure out.
Yeah.
To come together.
And they got the hard
collectively.
part.
We've done a good job of like winning games that are either close or winning games that we think that we like know we should win.
I definitely agree with that, yeah.
Like the Fury games, like they got some guys who can fill up the stats too, but you know, we've handled them better collectively as a team, which with everyone like contributing. And then kind of the same thing with Dynasty. Obviously, Chen's out there doing his thing. It just unfortunately hasn't translated to the amount of W's that they would have liked. But now with adding Trayvon Hughes, that's quite a leap.
Game changer.
And that's, I mean, no matter like where he's at and age-wise, like you said it best in the beginning, it's IQ and mentality. So like for him to go from taking a prime time D1 Wisconsin Badgers like era and just transferring that over, he's going to bring such a piece that they need. And I mean, they lack guards. Like they lack guys that can handle the ball. So they lost like 2 of their point guards early on in the season. And so they were just, I mean, they have a big, tall roster, you know, but having him being able to handle the pressure a little bit, you know, and probably shed some light on the team on what it's like to be a D1, you know, athlete in a very well-established organization. So I think that's a good point to make too. It's kind of anyone's game.
So he's from, like, he went to high school at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, which is in Delafield. It's like maybe 8 minutes from where I'm at. So the Y that's like in town here, our noon ball, or like old man Y ball, him and I always show up at it. So him and I have played against each other multiple times, and age is not a thing for him.
I figured.
Got it for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing, is like, no matter what sport it is, playoffs come, whole different animal. Like,
absolutely.
like you just got some guys who might just all of a sudden lock in.
Yeah.
Like they might have just kind of like maybe cruised through the regular season, but all of a sudden it's playoffs, and all of a sudden you got customized shoes on the line.
Yeah.
Kicks. All for the custom kicks, they'll do it.
Oh, so I mean, I don't think really anything is like nothing's given anymore. I think maybe the first couple of weeks you could say that, you know, teams that were playing better obviously had a better shot at winning, but I think right now it's kind of a crapshoot. Whoever, like, I don't really think that these seedings mean a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's any man's game.
I mean,
I agree.
Every team's pretty much beaten every single team in the league already, so
Yeah.
it's different.
Be exciting.
But
You're going to bring your A game. We know you will.
yeah, otherwise, like any other player rivalries, like I don't have like a rivalry, but like I guess guys when I play against them, like I want to play better than Malik Clements.
Yeah. Similar style to your game. Like if you feel like do you feel like that's a similar style to your game? Similar build?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like a bunch of crazy athletic dudes, but guys who can just find ways to score the ball.
Yeah.
Kind of all three levels. I think he's probably a better 3-point shooter than I am. But I mean, for the most part, yeah, I think we're pretty similar. And then him too, like I played against him for 1 year at Whitewater.
Okay, yeah. He's bounced around. I know I'm going to set up a player interview with him. He's currently on vacation now, but he's an interesting guy that I'd love to learn more about. He's definitely been all over the place in the college basketball experience. So,
other than that, probably Quan from Ignite.
Yeah.
He's passionate. Yeah, you guys battle on the boards, that's for sure.
We're always talking to each other during the games and stuff. It's funny, but like I said, that's just like one where it's not even really a rivalry. It's just like bragging rights more than anything.
Right.
Absolutely. Like I won this time around. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Awesome. You know, and go ahead.
Oh no,
He's got a list of rivalries now.
Yeah, he's like, suddenly
ready
you
to
didn't
battle.
have any, and now you're like, bam.
Yeah, then there's this person. Yep. He's
No.
ready to battle every time.
Honestly, we're excited to see how far you and the Kings rosters go. I mean, it's for me, it's seeing that from like, I was there on the initial setup of everything, to the point where we had no coach, and I was like, I'm gonna find one.
You're
Like,
gonna find one,
then I talked to Brett. I'm like, Brett, I'm gonna need you to take this team here.
Or
Like,
otherwise we were gonna take it.
And you don't want that. You don't want that. So I'm glad, Brett's worked out. I'm glad the Kings rosters worked out. You guys are 8-2. You're rocking on some pretty good stats here. So I'm excited to see what you guys do come the latter portion. I mean, these few games headed in here, it's very easy to get mistaken. That's just regular season versus it's just how you set up your seed. Because there are some teams you want to play maybe for your matchup. Do you want to verse the size of dynasty, or do you want to verse the kind of, I don't want to say street ballers and movement, but they have some really good one-on-one players. It's just like, what can your team handle?
To get to that next game.
Exactly. Like where do you want your matchup? So. Hopefully everything plays out, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too.
The last question I got for you, though, is of the 4 contests, you've heard a little bit about the contest, the dunk, the 3-point, the combo guard, the levels contest. Do you have any interest in any of them, or do you see any of your guys winning any of them?
Honestly, I could see Davon winning 3-point contest.
Okay.
That's a fair statement.
If he wanted to, like, I think Adam, if he really wanted to, could win the dunk contest, but I'm not going to vote for him. I think, like, my dark horse in the dunk contest could be, like, Tyreek. If he wanted to do that, I mean, what? He's 5'9"?
Yeah. He says he's 6 foot.
He's not.
And he's written that down on every sheet of paper. I'm like, Tyreek,
we have to
realistically hand me a sheet of paper with your height before I got to put a measure next to
But
you.
he doesn't understand if he's got that shorter height, but he can jump high. That's
A little
impressive.
Spud Wed contest.
Yeah.
I think he could win the dunk contest. I think so. He's got like the bounce for it. He just needs to figure out how much more creative he can be, but still like in his element.
Yeah.
Other than that, I
you
think
wanna
Marcel
see.
could win just about anything else.
Yeah,
go.
I
Wow.
agree on that.
Yeah.
He's a crafty dude. And I know I was like, I've ever since seeing Marcel play, like last year when the Blaze team had played the Next Level Grind team, he was on that roster. I was like, this dude's got to come, like, wherever we're going, whatever direction.
He's
I'm
just
like,
gotta
he's
be
just
there,
got to
yeah.
come. And he's a fun
He look
dude.
easy. Yeah. Oh, he's
Yeah.
great to be around.
Yeah. Well,
Very
awesome. Well, you got anything else there, Lisa?
No,
for
this
Ben?
has been great. Thank you for giving us your time and your,
Thanks
your
for having me.
background.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Perfect.
we look forward to the future and everything that's going to happen here soon and down the road maybe for you in another country. Hopefully we can help you get there.
Yeah, appreciate
Working
it.
on it.
Yeah, I like that. And
absolutely.
then you really be the nationality changer. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you'll be matching
Yeah,
my
I could
skin
pass
color.
off.
Yeah. Yeah. Get you
awesome.
some tan.
Well, thank you, Ben,
Yeah.
and good luck on the remaining games.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You
right, see ya.
too.
Well, we just want to give you a shout out for April 30th. Our 3 games, again, are Movement versus Fury. That's the 4th seed versus the 5th seed. We got Dynasty versus Ignite, 2nd seed versus 3rd seed, and then Kings versus Movement, which we just got done talking to Ben. He said he's looking forward to that game, so I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, we're getting towards this postseason. It's pretty exciting. And if you
Last
missed
game's in April.
absolutely anything, you could always find us on social media on Wisconsin Basketball League, WISBL.com. So don't miss the action coming up.
Awesome. All right, we look forward to seeing you on April 30th. If not, next time on the Wisconsin Basketball League Update.
Have a great day.